welcome to another episode of First and Last. I am Josh, and with me today I have Joe.
Hey, man.
And returning, the prodigal son returns. We have Jimmy.
I appreciate that.
Back from his suspension.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we've been
'Cause,
saying that you've been suspended.
Oh man, what?
Have you not been listening?
Well, the prodigal son sounds way better because that sounds like I was whooping it up. I was living it up
You're
hard.
partying.
I was living hard, burning out a little too fast.
And that's why you were suspended.
Yeah, that's the whole suspension thing.
I
You
see.
suspe-
It's
you-
like the NFL.
Went against our wellness policy. You had one too many Diet Cokes.
That's what your wellness policy is.
Only
You
one
can't
diet,
drink diet.
one diet
No
coke a month here.
aspartame.
Yeah, no aspartame, just strictly water.
This is a horrible.
Until we get
and
sponsored.
White Claw. And White Claw.
Yeah, we only drink water until we get sponsored by anybody that makes a drink, and then we
we'll just-
only drink that drink.
What would be the worst drink to be sponsored by? Is like Faygo or something.
Yeah, just the Shasta still around?
Nah, I don't think Faygo would be that bad if Juggalos are loyal, right?
I don't know. I have no thoughts on the loyalty of Juggalos. I don't know. I've never had to trust one with my life or anything, but I guess I would give it a shot.
I would trust a Juggalo with my life if they sponsor us. Faygo.
Wait.
Hashtag Faygo.
All right. Hey, what is this podcast about? What is that whole deal?
It's it's a TV pod.
Okay.
Are you reacclimating yourself because you've been gone for so long?
Yeah, I've
You're just
totally
like,
forgotten.
what is this again?
I've
This-
totally.
Jimmy's asking the question not only for new listeners of the podcast, but also just for himself, because he's not 100% sure what First and Last is.
So what is it?
It's a place where everybody knows your name.
Huh.
As long as your names are Josh, Joe, and Jimmy.
And you're not listening to this episode, but the first episode of
You're a
season 2.
shitty bartender. You can only remember 3 people's names.
You just call everyone that comes in Jim. And you're just like, hey, Jim. And you're just like, that's fine. I'll have a Diet Coke.
Everybody's Sam. You're like, that's your name, bartender.
It's a TV pod, but we only care about the first and last episode of a TV show.
We care eventually.
Well,
but
I
it
don't
depends. It depends on the show, but mostly we don't care. Mostly that's true.
We
In our
seek out
experience.
beginnings and endings and try to get satisfied off of just that.
we can honestly say it's not about the journey here.
No. We're like the I was gonna say we're like the Spark Notes of TV, but it's worse than that. It's really just the beginning and end of the Spark Notes.
We're a results-driven organization.
It's if you checked out the Spark Notes, but then you only read the first and last
Yeah.
page of that
You look
Spark
at the
Notes.
Spark Notes and this is too long.
It's like you don't know how to use Spark Notes at all.
We're the TLDR of Spark Notes.
Spark Note? Is it Spark Cliff Notes?
Well,
Is Spark Notes the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like an off-brand Cliff Notes.
Cliff wrote some.
What?
Did you say words?
Yeah, I said them wrong. But I said
Clifford the dog.
I said Cliff wrote some.
Clifford
Like he wrote some notes.
Wrote some notes. Yeah.
notes.
Gotcha.
Cliff wrote some notes.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Following. Then who's Spark? Sparks.
It's his dog.
His dog. He also wrote the notes.
Also, like who did the For Dummies? The like TV for dummies. Is that
all those
Sparks?
books.
I don't have an answer for you. to be
Moving
honest.
on. So you guys want to know what show we're doing?
Yeah, Jimmy, I would like to not look at the shirt you're wearing.
Don't
and
even
wonder,
look at my Stay Golden T-shirt.
Part of me
Oh,
really
man.
wishes that we buy a camera sometime soon so we can redo this episode.
Did you say Stay Golden?
Yeah.
We're doing the Outsiders miniseries.
We're doing a bunch of Airbud
Are we doing
movies.
Are we watching a TV show
It's a
about?
golden
Because
retriever.
it's a golden retriever.
Are we watching a TV show about King Midas today?
Yeah.
The Midas Touch.
The Midas touch, the man with the Midas touch. We're watching Goldfinger. This is now a James Bond podcast.
Yeah. We're not doing the Make a Wish podcast for you today, Jimmy.
Oh man.
Record one
That is my
episode of
dream.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can watch the first and last.
There's like a comic. Anyway, we're watching Golden Girls.
Yeah, there we go. We got to it.
Oh,
And I'm very, very excited.
You are. I try to like subvert you from picking a TV show a couple times this week, and you were like, "No, I'll get it. I'll get all of them.
No,
I
I got this.
I will for surely get this."
Don't just stop it. I have it.
Our the first and last HQ has changed locations, and it doesn't quite have internet yet,
Yeah,
No.
we don't need it.
and so
We're
Sounds-
staying true to the show. They didn't have internet either.
That's absolutely.
and even if they did, they didn't know how to use it. So
It started in 85. A
Te-
great year.
yeah, could you
How many
actually?
seasons?
Could you tell us a little thing about this? Because I know nothing except they're
85
old.
to 92, so 7 seasons.
Okay.
It's a bunch of ladies.
a bunch of them.
A bunch of ladies. I think some of them live together. Maybe they all do. Maybe it's like a condo place.
Is there 3 or 4 of them?
I think there's 5 because one of them
That wasn't an option that I asked.
Oh.
because Betty White, who's like the only person who I really know. No, yeah, only
Betty
person I
White
really
is definitely
know.
a Golden Girl.
she was a Golden Girl, but I think her mom, Betty White's character is Rose, and I think her mom is also part of the show. In the show, her
Yeah.
character's mom. So I think there's 4 like main, and then a 5th who's the mom. I think maybe.
Well,
but it
I'm,
could be 3 in
like
the mom.
staring at your shirt right now. There's 4 of them.
Okay, well then there's 4.
And there's one that's clearly the mom. But I thought I remember reading a thing where like the woman who plays the mom was actually like she was either like the youngest or like just like similar age with them. Like she wasn't actually older.
Curveball.
Yeah.
Oh, that would just hurt my heart as an actor.
I mean, you know.
Well, she's made up to look.
you're gonna play the
older.
dad.
They make-
but I'm
yeah.
younger than them. You're gonna play the dad. You look
a
old.
touch up. Get a little touch up in makeup, you know.
So I think we all know that it's about older ladies and having adventures together. What kind of things do you think they get into?
Sex.
Do you think there's a lot of sex in this show?
Well,
Is
there's
this just Sex in the City but plus 50 years?
I mean, we'll find
I
out.
don't know.
guess,
I don't
right?
know how much I want to.
And probably in Florida.
Which one's the Miranda?
How much does this shirt give away? There's one that like doesn't have like grayish, as gray of hair, and I feel like, and her name's Blanche, up over here by my nipple, by my right
yeah.
nipple, for listeners at home.
Stage left.
And I think
anybody looking
she's
at
kind of promiscuous.
Okay.
So she's the
Other
Kim
than that,
Cattrall,
yeah, love it.
the lady or whatever her name was
So
in
is
Sex
it
and the City.
Samantha?
Yeah, this
Samantha?
is just old Sex in the City, but like predating that show by many years, possibly
Interesting.
a decade.
I think they live in Florida.
Like
in
they
like
retired
some
down there.
in some sort of like retirement community, not unlike Jerry Seinfeld's parents. I think not all of them live together. I think 2 to 3 of them live together, and then like 1 or 2 of them live apart, and they just like visit.
Sure.
I don't think I wouldn't go as far as and say there's a Kramer-like character that bursts in, but I would say like one of them is kind of like sort of at least starts out as an unwanted neighbor that keeps coming over.
Okay.
Okay, it becomes
And,
part of the gang.
and I think the problem in the first episode is one of them has a health scare,
Oh.
and then it kind of stems
One of them, just one.
Well, in the first episode,
What's the over under?
One.
Are we still doing that? I haven't been here for a while.
Yeah, no, we still bet. And I think they have a health scare. I believe it has something to do with potentially. It's not hip related because I think they're all mobile throughout the whole show.
Okay.
So I believe it is maybe some sort of light heart attack. Stroke is too serious.
A light heart attack?
Yeah, I mean you can have a bad heart attack and you can have like a
It's like,
like you can have
heart
worse
kinda
heart
stopped.
attacks. It's on the least.
Do you think one of them is Italian? Is what you're saying?
I think they're shoving pasta in their gullet.
I'm pretty sure
And
one
they
of
have a
them
heart
has
attack.
like a Jersey accent.
Hey, what are you doing here?
That's
Did I do it right?
all right.
Sorry, I was back to the Uber driver. But yeah. So I think one of them has a health scare, and then they're like, "Oh shoot, we should live our lives. We're crazy ladies." And then it's just kind of like they don't play bridge every night anymore. They go for walks. I don't know what they do, but they just like they decide to like live their lives in their retirement better.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I think there's not much plot to this first episode. I think they just sort of meet. Like they all are moving
Introducing.
into a new home or something. Like maybe they all don't live in the same place, but like it's like these two people moving into this house and they're meeting their neighbors and that's it.
Okay. I still think there's one person's a new person kind of thing. Group one gets interested in the group.
Okay. You think Kramer gets introduced?
Yeah, but not super Kramer, you know.
Well, yeah, old
I think-
lady Kramer.
I predict they make a menopause joke.
Oh man, what's the over/under on menopause?
I'll go with 2 menopause jokes.
2 menopause jokes? I think just the one.
I'm going over.
Over 2?
I'm going over 2.
Ooh.
I feel like Jimmy's got a little inside baseball. I feel like he's
No, I don't. I mean, I can't say I've like ever seen like a full episode of this show, but I'm really excited about it just because Betty White has just become this whole otherworldly.
She's a full-on meme for sure.
Yeah, have you seen Betty White dabbing? That's an excellent GIF.
I have not.
I'll send it out.
I can imagine it.
Just tweet it out
It's
on our
exactly what you. Yeah.
FNL podcast.
It's exactly as you described.
It's
It's
great.
I mean, I can envision it. Probably
I think
probably looks fun.
I think I like how you said like Kramer, like, and because I think there is like a Seinfeld-esque of this where there's like an apartment and like condo type thing, and that's kind of central.
Yeah,
the way
I don't think
Seinfeld said.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think they live in like in a big apartment building because I feel like they can't go up and down stairs very well. So I feel like everything's first floor, like old person condo, like neighborhood type thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm betting Florida.
All right, I like it.
Cool.
Well,
You're a man of
you're
many
super
words,
pumped.
Joe.
Super pumped to dive into this.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Let's see these old ladies live their lives. I'm gonna be real sad if their lives are cooler than mine.
Oh, they're gonna be.
Ah, damn it. All right. Well, let's dive into the pilot of. Is it? Yeah. Well, it's obviously the
It's
pilot.
called Pilot.
Yeah, of course it is. Let's go into the pilot of Golden Girls. We'll see you after that.
And we're back.
I guess you are ready. We are back.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Plot summary.
Oh, you're just doing it right?
I'm just going right. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
All right. So this is called the pilot on the internets where I bought it, but on the IMDb it actually has a name. So Josh,
I like it already.
you're welcome. It was called The Engagement, and the plot summary is: Dorothy, Rose, and Blanche are 3 women who share a house in Miami, Florida. Dorothy's elderly mother, Sophia, unexpectedly moves in after her retirement home burns down, and Blanche accepts a proposal of marriage. So that's like the first 10 minutes.
And that's it.
Is that all it said?
Yeah.
You
It doesn't want to spoil anything.
It really.
I guess, yeah.
Well, spoiler alert.
She does not get
She
married.
doesn't get married because Harold, I believe is his name.
Harry, yeah, Harold.
Harold goes to jail because he has multiple lives and wives
Yeah.
in multiple states.
Like a
He's
cat.
a bigamist.
Oh,
What's a bigamist?
I thought you said pigamist for a second,
Bigamist.
and I was like, "Are you trying to say polygamy?" But really weird. He's a bigamist.
He's a bigamist. What's the plot there for being a bigamist? Is he like marrying a bunch of ladies and waiting for them to die or something to get their money, or like?
Yeah, I think he's just like using them.
It's kind of
Moving
weird.
on.
We never saw.
Disappearing.
We never saw him, so we don't know if he's like old like them or if he's younger.
But like he
No, we
like
saw him.
We did.
We absolutely saw him.
Joe, did you see him?
no.
For just, well, maybe you might have been getting pizza.
I might have been getting the cookies, so I don't know.
Oh, we did see
We
him.
saw him for a hot minute. He was in and out to pick Blanche up for the date. So we have some characters here.
We did. Joe missed that. You missed it because you were making us cookies.
Worth it though, right?
A lot of hard work goes into making these episodes, boys and girls.
So Dorothy and Rose live in Blanche's house in Miami. So then Dorothy and Rose are like worried that they're gonna have to move out of Blanche's house because Blanche is gonna marry this guy after knowing him for 1 week. And then Sophia just shows up at the door. And it's just like, I live here now because her retirement home burned down. And then there's also a cook. Their gay young cook named Coco, which was the butt of a lot of jokes from Sophia.
Yeah,
the old lady.
They try to make him be kind of funny, like he would like one-liner a little bit, but I didn't really find him very entertaining.
Yeah, maybe his character grows.
I think he gets. I think maybe I need a little bit more Jack from Will and Grace in him for me to be like, yeah, I like this guy.
It's okay. He'll get written out.
You wanted him more gay? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just wanted to be more witty.
All right.
He can be as gay or not gay as he wants.
I have no. Why are you making me the bad guy here?
Because it's more fun than me being the bad guy. I have so for the four ladies, I just like they're like four dwarves. Blanche is the slutty one, Dorothy's the grumpy one, Rose is the dumb one, and Sophie's the mom one.
Just the mom.
Sophie's the mom one.
Love that.
I think Sophia's going to be my favorite character in this show. Except I also think she's dead in the last episode. So
she had my favorite joke that was played out really well of her talking about how like she sleeps like a log and she doesn't like have the like old like waking up to pee every 5 minutes. She's like I pee at 7 a.m. every day, and then she's like, but I don't wake up until 8.
Yeah. She had the best parts in this entire show. She did that one, and then she was like outside when Dorothy, that's her daughter, right?
Yeah.
When Dorothy was like put the mirror underneath her.
Yeah, she put the mirror underneath her nose to see if she was still breathing. And Rose is like, "Why are you doing that? She's sleeping." And Dorothy's like, "You never know."
You never know. And then they were talking, and then she just like Sophia just chimed in. She's like, "I thought you were sleeping," and she's like, "You never know."
Oh my gosh!
I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty good." So she's the best character in this show, for show.
Is she the Raphael or she a Donatello?
Who's Sophia?
Yeah.
Huh. I think
Master Splinter, right?
I think Dorothy's
well,
the
there's
Raph.
Like 4 of them. Yeah, Dorothy's so Raph. Yeah.
She's a little too Raph.
Yeah. Give me a break.
I've wanted to say that for season and a half of this show. A little too Raph. I think Rose is the Michelangelo.
Yeah,
nice.
for sure.
Betty White.
So does that make Blanche the Leonardo, and then?
I don't think. I feel like Blanche and Sophie. Neither one of them are a Ninja Turtle. They're like not. Blanche is the Krang, and.
I don't know.
We're still.
We ran out of that analogy. It doesn't fit.
Sophia is Dexter.
Like the guy that murders people?
Or what's the name? No, it's the game with the guy who like is
a
fly.
Are you talking about Baxter Stockman?
Baxter.
Yeah.
He's the guy that turns into the fly.
Yeah, he's
Sophia's
a fly.
Baxter.
She's Baxter. All right.
And Blanche is like Rocksteady. Is he the boar or the rhino?
He's the rhino.
Yeah. All right.
I honestly wouldn't have. You could be lying right now and I wouldn't know.
So this show is created and written by Susan Harris, who's a lady who wrote a ton of shows in like the 70s and 80s and produced a ton of shows in the 80s and 90s.
Like what?
Like All in the Family.
Oh.
And The Partridge Family. Family shows.
So this is coming from a hit
shows
maker.
with family. Yeah, she's all over the place.
She's the assembly line creator of shows.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Was this like a hit right away, or did it like...
That's a good question. Oh, hold on. Where's my cell phone? Talk amongst yourselves.
I just wonder if there's a market for like mature lady comedies.
I mean, I can't think of like any other old women comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
there hasn't been a show like this before or since.
not in my mind, at least.
Well, there was
everything else was like family shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was really big into like this is like we're a big family.
So maybe
Or
it was just
we're
like a
two big families that met.
maybe it's just like a heat check. She's just like, whatever. I did the Partridge Family. Just let me do whatever I want.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, The Golden Girls received critical acclaim throughout most of its run and won several awards, including Emmy for Outstanding Comedy twice and 3 Golden Globes for Best Television Series, Musical or Comedy.
Sounds like people
Each
liked
of
it.
the 4 stars won an Emmy.
What?
Shit.
For the show?
One of only 3 sitcoms
Just
in the
random
awards
things.
history to achieve this.
They didn't win. They run Emmys for other things, but they count it.
It was a top 10 show for 6 of its 7 seasons.
God, I hope the 7th season wasn't that one that they fell off. For our sake.
Oh, man.
Huh. Yeah. So, yes, people were into this.
Hit show, man. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I knew it was big. I guess I just wondered if it took off right away or if it took some time. But it seems like it took off right away. If at the latest season 2 is already top 10.
I mean, that was a good first episode. I feel like I kind of understand at least the tropes of all the ladies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was funny. I lolled.
You've been lulling a lot in season 2, first and last,
These
Joe.
shows are funny, man. And
But how
even
are the
when they're not trying to be
tears?
funny.
Have we had any tears yet? I've been gone for a few weeks.
Tune in for next week when Joe balls.
I'm hope Joe's balls.
Real tearjerker next week.
Oh, jeez, I can't wait.
What first episode of a show would just make you just cry?
I don't know.
You don't
Is there
even-
any shows? I don't know. Any shows with lots of death?
Yeah, but if it just
It's
starts
tough
off
to
with
make.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's tough to make to have a show get you into get you into a character enough.
I don't
and
know.
Kill at that.
Like
end
the
of it.
first 10 minutes of Up is it's up there,
That's
man.
true.
That was a cartoon.
It can be done.
which one of these ladies is definitely going to be dead at the end of this show?
Oh, we're
There's
getting to
only one,
predicts?
right? Like there's only
One
one.
predicts.
No, I just want to talk about it.
Okay, so Sophia being dead was one of my predicts.
Oh yeah, mine too.
I think she dies by the end of the last episode.
Interesting.
I don't have that. I don't have anything about her, but I think she's alive.
Hmm.
I think she's too
What
important.
if she comes back as
to
like
the
a force
chemistry.
ghost? Does that count as dead or alive?
Mm.
Would you consider Yoda to be dead or alive?
Dead.
Undead.
Yeah, well then there you go. What do you mean? Why are you even asking the question? In The Force Awakens, do you think Yoda's dead or alive?
I forgot that he was in that movie. That's
At
crazy.
the very end of The Force Awakens, do you consider Luke to be dead or
Spoilers.
alive? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Oh man, I hope he's dead.
So there's one other fun thing I wrote for episode 1, and that was Rose's premonition about how Blanche's what do you call
Marriage.
it when you're engaged to someone, fiance was like a bad news, and she was trying to tell her to not, and Dorothy had her in a sleeper hold so that she wouldn't tell Blanche not to marry this guy because Dorothy thinks she's crazy. And then Rose says my premonitions have always been true before, and something about Mrs. Gandhi or something. Someone died. Anyway, do you think Rose is just a pre-Daphne? You think that she's the psychic everyone jokes about?
Do you think it smooths out, or do you think she leans back into the being a psychic thing? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
They hold on to this the whole time.
Because in
Yeah.
Frasier, they lean off the
They
psychic.
kind of weaned it out.
They kind of yeah, but they bring it back every once in a while.
They sent her to fat camp
Yeah,
instead.
they bring it back every now and then as a joke,
Yeah.
oh, and she thinks she's psychic.
Did you still in season 3 of that show?
Yeah,
Because they definitely bring it back way later after Niles and her are together now, and they're and then she's wait, you don't think I'm a psychic? And then it's a whole episode, it's a whole fight, their first fight is over how he doesn't believe, and then they have to test it to find out if she's really
interesting.
I think they wean off of it.
all right.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any mention of it in the last episode. One
Alright.
bit.
Her gimmick is just that she's dumb.
Yeah, I
For
think
the
her
rest of the
gimmick's
show.
just yeah, she's dumpy. Dummy.
Dumpy.
Yeah, dumpy wasn't the right term. Betty White's a national treasure.
She really is.
But yeah, I was really surprised
Rest in peace.
about her being like the dumb one. I didn't expect that at all. I thought she was gonna be like, I don't know,
The bitch, Dorothy.
I didn't even know what to think that her character might have been. In the
I
show.
was gonna think that she was gonna be like the straight character, like
Was she a straight?
I mean, but like dumb and straight.
What are you talking about?
What?
What's the streak? What are
Straight-
you talking about?
Like
Straight
the straight
talker.
man, like the person who is like not particularly funny, but just like is like kind of groaning at everyone else's like dumbness or weird
so like
characteristics.
almost like a weird like dumbed down mix of Blanche and Dorothy.
Do you not know what like the straight man is? And
No.
Like, what?
Explain it.
Can you tell me?
Wait, do you not know either?
Explain it to the
Can you
listeners.
Yell into this microphone.
Explain
what the
it.
fuck?
Explain it to the listeners.
If you have like let's say like
Could
you
you
have,
give me? Could you use a show potentially as an example?
Who in Community is the straight man?
You Seinfeld.
Okay, Seinfeld. That's a good one.
Okay, good.
Jerry is the straight man. He's like the guy that's kind of like the audience's like view into this world and the center. It's typically like when you have like a straight man, it's typically like a comedy duo where you have one character who's super wacky and the other one who's the straight man who's just like super normal and is just sort of reacting.
Okay, I get. Okay.
So Perfect Strangers vibe.
Yes, that's a good example. Where the one guy is like super straight man, he's even kind of grumpy, but then Balky is super wacky and fun.
Yeah.
But you need the normal guy in there to kind of be like the bread on like the grilled cheese sandwich of
So it was like
it's
Carl, the straight man, to like Urkel.
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that would that
It's
be
like
it?
everyone in Full House except for the one uncle.
Dave Coulier.
Yeah. The entire cast except him.
The entire
That's
cast
the
is
straight man.
rolling their eyes at Uncle Joey. Comments the straight man.
No,
Uncle
I
Joey.
don't think I've ever heard that term before.
Wow.
I'm sorry it took you 36 episodes to tell me about it. Is this episode 36? I'm not sure.
Everything in a TV series has a name. Like what's the name for like in an episode where they don't leave the room?
The bottle episode.
A bottle episode.
I've
That's
never
my
heard that either.
favorite. Well,
I'm
you
learning.
gotta watch through Community.
Yeah, it's a thing where if they will do it like in the middle of a season, especially deep into the seasons where like it just costs money to have a lot of sets, so they film an episode where it's just to one set, and that way they don't need to like.
I mean, Seinfeld did that a lot.
It's like what can
yeah,
happen in this one set?
yeah. For some reason, they're trapped in one room and they never leave, and they just have that one set, and it just makes it cheaper to produce.
Yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense. I just never heard that term either. I'm using Seinfeld as like my anchor for tonight for some reason, but it seems to be working out for every analogy.
I
you're using.
haven't seen
Yeah.
enough Seinfeld to be able to point you out episodes.
But I think you know enough. I mean, the one where they're in like the Chinese restaurant, like they're in the lobby of a Chinese restaurant the whole time.
there you go. That's a
Yeah,
well episode.
That well, they're not in it the entire time, but almost the entire time.
The one where they're in the parking lot the whole time.
Parking lot.
Yeah, they're just in a parking garage the whole time.
All right. Yeah, where they're just walking around trying to look for the car.
Yes.
That's
But
a
enough about
great episode.
Seinfeld, Jimmy. Gosh.
Hey, you got predicts?
I got some predictions. I got 3. I think Sophia's dead. 6 feet
Aw,
under, super
wah,
dead.
wah.
Been rotting for probably a season.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think she's dead to start the episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
I
think.
think she dies within the episode.
Nah, she's already dead.
Ooh.
If they have a funeral for an already dead person, it counts.
But what if she like wakes up and she's like, you never know.
If she's a is she a vampire?
You never know. You never
This
know.
has an alias twist
She
where it
wakes
becomes
up
supernatural.
and bites one of the other
I mean, do
Golden
it.
Girls.
I'm not gonna get any points, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. Dorothy and Blanche are remarried, and Rose has a pet.
A pet?
What kind
Yeah.
of pet?
I thought dog.
Mm,
I'm thinking
like a little
like
shitty.
A bird.
Ooh,
Oh, a bird would be good for her. I'm
Yeah.
switching to bird.
There you go.
And
Kinda
then white. Is that
A white bird?
white-
That's what I was imagining.
a white bird?
Racist.
Like a cockatiel or
Why is
something.
that? It's just the color of a bird. If I would have said green, would that have been racist?
Racist.
All right. Well, still white. And then I think part of this episode takes part on a cruise ship because old people like the sea.
They're like pirates in that way.
Yeah. Old people and pirates both like the sea.
And they're impervious to gangrene.
I like that because, so this is a two-parter.
Oh, is it?
So I spent $6 on Golden Girls, which is great. But so while I was downloading it, it had the little thumbnail and the Leslie Nielsen.
Okay.
Is that his name?
He's in this
That's
episode?
a guy. Yeah.
It's a guy, and he's usually was in a lot of comedies like the Naked Guns and stuff. But he was the captain of the ship, in that movie where it flips upside down. That they did a remake with Kurt Russell.
Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Oh, like the Poseidon? Is
The
that
Poseidon. In the original Poseidon, Leslie Nielsen was the captain. So I
Really?
like your cruise prediction.
So based on the fact that Leslie Nielsen's in the last episode of the Golden Girls and he has once played a cruise ship captain, you think that I'm right.
Yeah, I'll give you a 0.25.
Cool.
0.25? We haven't even seen the episode.
Yeah. I'm winning.
If it happens, I'll give him 0.2.
Wait, no, if it happens, I get 1. You gave me 0.25.
It's been a while since I've been on the show.
I got 0.25 points. I'm taking them.
Was that it for your prediction?
Yeah.
Because I also have that Sophia's dead, but I said that she dies by the end of the episode.
Okay, so we have one pre-dead. You have
I think she dies.
dead
within
and
the
dying
episode.
and dead.
Yeah. And then I have that Blanche is choosing between two men.
Nice.
I think I've had that like meme and different other predicts, but I feel like it's really
It's
happening.
not a
this time.
meme just because you keep doing it, Joe.
Or you have to choose between two people that you love.
That
happened in Dawson's Creek.
I don't want to wait.
I have that one of them has a baby.
No,
What?
no.
Like not giving birth to a baby, but like by this episode, like one of them just like has a full on child, like a toddler.
Like a new one, not like they're
How?
like adult
Like yeah.
children come and visit. or
Like
something.
one that was born within this series.
Fuck
From
no.
their uterus.
Yes.
They're
very own
like
uterus.
in their 60s, right?
Yep.
Does it?
No, give it to him. Let him go. No, he's good.
It was the 80s, man.
Different time.
It's a different time.
And then the last one I have is that the last episode, or I guess 2 episodes, are not based in Florida.
Oh, so hopefully on a cruise ship,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, going out of Miami.
docking
Going out of South Beach.
only in Miami docks.
They're on a cruise for Sophia's funeral, and Rose's baby is giving a speech.
So you think it's Rose's baby?
No, let's not.
Specifically.
Let's just let a baby. Someone has a baby.
All right.
One of the 4.
Um,
Probably not Sophia.
Speaking of, that just made me think of there wasn't a single like hot flashes or like menopause joke at all, was there?
No,
There wasn't.
nothing.
And that's why they're having babies.
So Joe got a point. Is what I'm saying.
Boo.
No, I said that there would be one.
Yeah, we all said there were one.
Oh,
He said 1, I think
you
I said 2,
oh,
and you
yeah,
said
you're right.
3.
Yeah, I said. Over.
I'm the only one with points here, Jimmy.
Okay, so my prediction number 1 is I
0.25
think
points.
Coco is gone. I think he was
Oh,
in
for
that
sure.
first episode, and I think he never came back.
Yeah, I don't even think he's in the second episode.
Yeah. Number 2, I think Dorothy is married and moved out of the house. I think she's the only one who got away. I think she's like the one you wouldn't expect
Yeah, you wouldn't for sure.
because Blanche is the one who's out for, for some tail. I don't know why that. Okay. But I think Dorothy's married and gone, like still around, but she's like out of the house, so she's not in as much of the scenes and whatnot. I think Blanche is still playing the field. I don't think she's like maybe seeing multiple people, but not anyone specific, not engaged or going to be married. And then I think Rose is still sad, dumb, and alone.
Oh no!
I
You
think
said
it's
dumb
same
in there,
old-
like just made it worse.
Same old Rose.
I don't know. You just I've called her dumb a couple times, and I feel like you said it, and it was really
Okay,
mean.
well, those listeners who watched along, she had a whole thing about how like she's so alone. Maybe you were getting Joe was getting cookies or pizza, but she had a whole thing about how like we get married, we have kids, our kids leave, our husbands die, and we're just alone forever. And it was sad.
Was there audience laughter after that?
I mean, I lolled, but I think it was just me. But I think she's just living that same life.
The live studio audience had a better emotional intelligence than Jimmy did. So, all right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
We shall see.
we will.
So this is a two-parter that happened on the same day.
Yeah,
What we're doing?
yeah, and I would tell you what it was called, but the TV went to sleep.
It's called The Death of Sophia on a Cruise Ship. Let's dive into it. We will see you after the final episodes of The Golden Girls. And we're back. We watched the finale of Golden Girls. Freddie Peterson.
And it-
The
and
Freddie
it was
Peterson
excellent.
Chronicles.
I think it's the first thing we need to talk about. Freddie Peterson.
Might be the only thing.
Before you even read the synopsis, we're talking about Freddie Peterson.
Oh yeah, I was looking up the synopsis.
Because Dorothy had sex with Liam Neeson. What's his name?
Leslie. She got tooken
She was tooken
to Pleasure Town.
with
They had sex so good they named it.
and that they said that joke the whole time, and then we find out that they named it Freddie Peterson,
yeah.
and I don't understand if that's a reference.
Leslie Nielsen is his name.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
Or like how you come up with that name.
Yeah, mostly I know it's Leslie Nielsen. I don't know how you come up with Freddie Peterson.
That's some like weird pillow talk after, right? You're not in the middle going, this is so good. Let's have a conversation about it. What do you think? Yeah. What comes to mind when you think of this?
I don't know. I could see you having good sex and then be going like, yeah, this is really great. But then I don't think you start yelling,
This reminds me
Freddie?
of this
Peter?
one guy, Freddie
John.
Peterson, I knew.
Who says that? Did Dorothy say that? Or did, what's his name in the
Lucas.
show?
Lucas.
He's
Uncle
the one
Lucas.
who came out and said he's like, I can't wait for our honeymoon, just her, me, and Freddie Peterson. And Rose is like, who's Freddie Peterson? And he says, that's what we named it.
It sounds like he named it. It seems like he's more proud of it.
Well, maybe she just is a little more reserved with her friends than he realizes.
I don't know about that.
It's like kind of like there's stuff like with you guys. I wouldn't necessarily
Like what? Tell us now.
tell you
Tell us right now.
what my sexual.
We won't tell anybody. What do you call it?
Freddie Peterson. I don't know. It's a
It's a
weird
Frederick,
coincidence.
Frederick Peterson. It's just a little more proper.
We call it Johnny
FP.
Knoxville.
I don't. Wow.
It involves a lot of poop.
We're changing the name.
Come
tonight.
wash my back. Come wash my back.
There was a bowl one time. There's a bowl. Jimmy, what happened in this episode?
Okay,
Do you got a
well,
thing?
the IMDb thing is dumb, and it just says as Dorothy and Lucas prepare to get married, they try to persuade Sophia to come live with him in Atlanta. I don't even remember them trying to persuade Sophia to move with them, or that they were going to Atlanta. Did they say that?
It was in the middle for like a hot minute.
I don't think they ever did. They ever say
Okay.
Atlanta? They kept calling it like it was like the Herkimershire Manor or whatever.
Maybe that's
Oh, yeah,
something
yeah,
you-
yeah.
They
Maybe
just
that's something you knew if you watched the show,
Yeah, that's probably it.
that she was from Atlanta. That would make sense because she's Southern Belle.
Georgia Peach.
She's a Georgia peach for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they didn't really. They were like they're trying to figure out who was the crux of it was The first part of the two-parter was Dorothy and Lucas were pretending to get married to like piss off Blanche. And then at the end they were like, "Oh wait, let's actually get married." They still had only known each other for 3 days,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No matter, I don't care how old you are.
But had they had the
pretty
Freddie
old.
Peterson at that point yet, or no?
Yeah, they had already
Yeah.
had the Freddy.
3 days, 3 dates.
3 days
That's-
in a Peterson.
That's some kind of Peterson.
A Freddy. They did a Fred, a Freddy, and a Frederick, all one a day.
I mean, and they're both old, right? So it's like, you ain't gonna like date. You just gotta get married.
I'll be honest, it was 90. It was 92, and it was old people, so I was kind of surprised that they were actually like talking about banging, because I figured they might have been like more, like, "Oh dearie me, we do not have sex outside of marriage."
That's not this show, man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
She was just going for it like Blanche. She picked up
I
something
guess right
from
a-
Blanche after 7 years.
I mean, I guess right away they were like making one night stand jokes about Blanche. So
Yeah, they were just hanging out while they were pretending to date, and then it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna swoop in and steal a kiss," and then it went full on Freddie Peterson.
I made kissing noises into the mic just now. While you were saying that.
I was gonna make a joke about, "Hey Josh, edit in kissing noises," so then it
Oh,
would have
really?
been like
I
you
did
would
it.
have put that in post.
No, I just did it myself. Don't worry about it.
You Freddie Petersoned
Killing
yourself.
the magic.
Ugh.
So,
Second, we didn't go through. So that was
Oh.
the first episode. Second episode was they were getting married. It was like the wedding episode.
Yeah.
But then I mean,
So I got a
really,
point.
the two big things in that one were just like the other girls, Blanche, Rose, and the mom
Sophia.
who's not dead. Bummer.
That's
Super
so
alive.
I'm glad she's not dead though.
She's
I almost
actually
feel
a
bad.
year younger. Is it Joe? You said that she
Yeah.
was maybe younger. She's a year younger than Betty and Dorothy.
She's just
B-
so
B.
small.
Arthur.
So it makes sense that I guess like she seems like like a super old lady that's like shrank,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because
She's
she's
like
just
an
such a small
older
lady.
lady, wig on and huge glasses, and
Yeah, they make
suddenly
her look
you
older.
look 20 years older than everyone around
Yeah.
you.
But they were just deciding like who was gonna live where, kind of thing. Like, whoa, what are we gonna do now that you're getting married? Our whole lives are over. We need to figure this out. And then Dorothy's ex-husband Stanley is a limo driver now,
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
and he like gave her blessing or something like that.
But we had to like figure that out from context clues, because he was like,
Yeah.
he showed up in the limo and like the audience like clapped and laughed.
Yeah, he must be a part of the show at some
Yeah.
part at least.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're gonna get married and not tell the person who gave you your name." And when he first said that, I was like, "Oh, it's her dad."
her dad's still.
And then I
also
pieced
alive?
it together that he meant like just her last name, Zabornak.
Hmm.
So it's her ex-husband. I get it.
Yeah.
You're a clever one, Mitchell Hurwitz.
Yeah, want to talk about that for a second, Joe?
I just saw it in the credits where like the first episode I saw it said produced by Mitchell Hurwitz, and I was like, is that the same Mitchell Hurwitz from Arrested Development? And then even the second episode was even written by him,
Yeah.
like not
And
just produced, but
Entire that whole episode was written by him.
yeah,
The last episode of the series of Golden Girls.
written by the creator of Arrested Development.
Yeah.
I can see like a mix of like Blanche and Dorothy coming together to become like Lucille.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. With a little more upscale class.
Yeah.
Alcoholic class.
If you're gonna do it right, add alcohol. That's what I always say.
That's what my boss says. Hey, what else? I had something for this.
I don't know. It was funny.
Mitchell Hurwitz.
It was just as funny as the first episode.
It was funny. I lolled.
I think like Sophia like was killing it.
Oh, Sophia's still got it.
She's the best.
Well, not now. She's dead.
Well, all of them are dead besides Betty White.
Yeah.
I think I lulled the most during like the end of the episode where Dorothy is leaving, so she says something nice to the ladies and gives them a hug and then walks out the door. And then she came back in and gave them another hug, and it happened like 2 more times.
It just happened
It
and
was
happened.
like a false ending where it was to the point where she would say something nice like, "You ladies are my sisters," and then walk out the door. And then the other 3 just sort of look around, and the audience is laughing because they're just
They're
like,
just waiting. Where's she gonna come from
yeah.
to run back in? That was good. That was really good.
And yeah, that second time, was it the second time she came back in?
Which she came in through like a different door.
Yeah,
or
with a
something.
different door.
I think that was the 3rd or 4th time she came through a different door.
It was probably even funnier for us because we weren't used to people coming in the whatever door she came
Yeah.
into as well.
Yeah.
So that was very new. We were like, we saw one door, that was it, and there was like a
Grandma
patio
did
door like
that.
behind them.
Sophia did that.
No, she came in through the front door.
Well, Sophia, yeah, but she had exited through a different door.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that part.
She
It
was
was,
like
like,
running
looking
around. She had a little bit for a while where she was running around taking Polaroids of Lucas and Dorothy smooching.
Which is
and
weird.
She
It
just
was
was
weird.
appearing out of different doors. And then she did it again and realized that it was actually Rose and Blanche hugging. And then that turned into the whole thing about what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? You guys should live together. And Sophia will just die alone. An old person who's...
Yeah, I did read on the Wikipedias that there was actually a short-lived sitcom, or of course it was a sitcom, but a spin-off after this.
Yeah.
Where
Of who?
The Golden Palace.
The Golden Palace.
Oh.
It's of the 3 girls minus Dorothy.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
and
It
they
was
like
look
They
one
just
season.
kicked her off the show.
yeah they
Well,
like
she moved away.
they like are running a hotel,
Oh.
and that's
Wait, do they live in the hotel?
I think so. Yeah, I think they live in and run a hotel together.
So Blanche sold her house,
Uh-huh.
and then they moved into a hotel that they bought
yeah, they're
all together.
running it, and shenanigans happens. It only ran for a year.
So next week we're
Yeah.
gonna watch the Golden Palace.
Yeah.
It's a continuation.
Just Golden Girls month.
Nice. There were 2 spin-offs as well.
Wait, two
Two?
other ones?
Yeah, there's one called Empty Nest or Empty Nesters or something.
Empty Nesters is a show.
Oh,
And then
What is
see,
that?
I did Google that because I was wondering if that was a spin-off or somehow related, because I just knew there
spin-off.
was old people involved,
yeah.
but I didn't read
It's
enough.
it's a show primarily with old people.
Yeah.
Does that have to do with the Golden Girls by chance?
So what's the
So-
connection between Empty Nest and
So
this?
okay, so Empty Nest is like it focuses on like a couple like next door from Golden Girls, like the people who live like right next door,
Uh-huh.
and it like picks up from there, and like sometimes the girls are like around in
Sure.
it, but it's mostly like this different perspective from this. But I assume it's like carrying on because it's after the
But
fact.
it's like an older couple or something, or
It's like another old couple, and they're trying to figure out what to do with themselves because
the kids are gone.
the kids are gone. Empty nesters.
Gotcha.
And then it spun off. That spun off into, and it was into a show called like Nurses, and that was like another just Miami, same producer, and some of the characters were in and out from the other shows.
How does Urkel fit into all of this?
And then
Because if I found out anything,
Carl
Urkel's part of
was
almost
the
every
cop
show.
in the first episode of Golden. That'd be amazing. The black cop who walked in
is Officer Winslow.
to tell. Yeah, if the cop, the one African American we saw this whole show was the cop who came in and told them that Blanche's fake husband.
What if it was Eddie?
fake-
Like, you know,
yeah.
like he moved out after Family Matters and moved down to Florida and was a cop down
We
there.
find out that Golden Girls is actually in the future. Crazy twist.
Twist.
What
I like it.
else? What else? That's pretty much everything I had. Everybody's dead except for Betty.
Jesus Christ.
Sophia.
Yeah.
Sophia was actually older, younger
Yeah.
than B. Arthur. B. Arthur was like huge. It like looking back, at how I was thinking like she'd be the one, even though 'cause I was thinking like, oh, Blanche will get married in the last episode because they'll bookend it, and she's the one who's promiscuous and seeing people.
They just bookended it with shotgun weddings.
But then I was like, I think that's too obvious. I'm gonna
Sorry.
go with Dorothy.
blowgun weddings.
Yeah, blowgun. Watch along, listeners. But B. Arthur was the huge actress in this. Like she was very well known going into this show.
Oh yeah.
She was in lots of stuff.
Because in the first episode, I mean the last two, the finale, she was definitely the focus, but it didn't seem like that so much in the first episode. I mean, she had the
No,
best
it didn't.
jokes.
It seemed like Blanche was the.
I kind of hated
Yeah.
her in the
Focus.
first episode.
Like I kind of thought Blanche was the focus from the first episode.
Dorothy was like the first character you saw in the first episode.
Yeah, or at least maybe
And
like
then
more of an
Dorothy and Betty
ensemble type
White.
thing.
It's interesting because the least important character out of everybody, I think, in both episodes seemed like Betty White's character.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of a throwaway. Although she was talking about how like she was gonna have to go like move in with like her kid or something. So
Yep.
there must be like Betty White storylines. You know, she must be focused for something.
Yeah, I'm sure they all get a little play.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna run out of ideas in 7
Everybody
seasons.
gets a
eventually.
little Freddie Peterson.
Oh,
Everyone gets a
jeez.
little FP.
F and the P. But yeah, I was surprised. I thought that Blanche would have been more of a focus, and then Betty White too. But by the end, at least, it was pretty much all Dorothy, which isn't bad. It's just like because I really liked her character from the first episode. It was just a surprise.
I feel like I liked all their characters. I liked everybody in the show.
Yeah, I feel
Great
good about
job.
it. I mean, I'm kind of medium on Blanche. Like, what she's like Southern and like whiny.
That was her character, man.
Hater.
I mean, Sophia is clearly great.
You're such a Yankee, Joe.
Yankee
Yankee
doodler.
doodling.
Yeah, why you Yankee doodling all up in here?
Just sitting over there on your own couch, Yankee doodling yourself.
No, that's my
Exactly.
couch. Stop doing that over there. You're not allowed to doodle your Yank over in my house.
You just look over him, just drawing New York Yankees logos all over your couch.
Just etching it into the floor.
Gross.
Like,
Etching
oh
it in.
god, that's gonna be there forever.
How dare you?
Should we dive into some predicals?
Yeah.
I'm holding my sheet, so I could do it now.
Go for it.
Sophia's dead. Not in the show. Dorothy and Blanche are married, and Rose has a pet. No.
I forgot about the pet,
Oh man.
the pet bird.
And part of the episode takes place on a cruise ship. No. So I ended up
I
with
felt good about that one too.
I ended up with 0.25 points that Jimmy gave me before we started last time.
because Leslie Nielsen was the captain on Poseidon,
Yeah,
which is really a great movie. Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters, look into it.
this
fantastic.
isn't a movie review podcast, Jimmy. What'd you get?
I'm not
for points?
talking to you. I'm talking to our fans.
Oh, the F and P'ers. I mean Evan Ellers.
It's a whole new show.
I also had that Sophia dies, but also wrong. Blanche is choosing between two men. We didn't really see much of how her dating life is going.
Blanche was choosing no men. in
Yeah,
the
she
last
had a
episode.
date.
She had a date.
I had that one of them has a baby. No.
I can't believe.
What
Can
in
you?
God's
Can you?
name
we're-
were
we're-
you thinking?
Let's get back
that?
on this. How did you think they were gonna have a baby?
I don't know. Miracles happen, man. Like they're still clearly like having the sex.
Miracles
so like
of
there's opportunity.
early 90s science.
Yeah.
You
Science
know-
fiction.
You know that like eventually a woman's incapable of having a baby, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that.
I feel like you don't. I feel like you don't understand that.
I'm just saying. I feel like they were at that point in life.
I feel like they could have like
maybe.
adopted or something.
No baby.
Yeah, they could have adopted a baby. Is what I was...
No, I would have loved if they would have adopted, and Joe said, "Not their baby, doesn't count, no points for me."
And then I have that the finale doesn't take place in Florida, but all of it did.
Everything was in
Same
Florida.
house, everything.
Yeah.
No Coco though.
No Coco.
Yeah.
2 for you, Glenn. Coco. Coco is gone, which was my number 1. And I thought that was going to get screwed over by that wedding scene. I thought maybe he'd pop back in. But nope.
Nah.
It's a 1 for me.
But nope.
Number 2, Dorothy is married and moved out.
I mean, she got married and then moved out.
Yeah,
Sure.
she did.
I'll give it to you, but semantics says you kind of worded that wrong.
Dorothy is married and moved out. I mean, it's a 2-parter, and by the end, she was married and moved out.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna give it to you. Let's keep going.
All right. Number 3 is Blanche is still playing the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. And then
She literally, the first part, she had like a whole like speech about how one night stand only comes one night.
oh yeah,
And how family's always around. And that's why that's how all your points came about, is because she needed to have her one night stand.
man.
Without
a
that
good
one night
point. That
stand,
was
you'd
a-
get no points.
That was a solid line for me. Had to keep her character going, you know. So then my 4th one was Rose is still sad, dumb, and alone. And as messed up as that prediction was, it's still so true.
I feel like I'd give you 0.66 points for that. I'd
about-
call her sad and
How
dumb,
about
but
0.666 points?
yeah,
Ooh.
I'll give you the
She was alone.
devil's points. The-
She's sad, dumb, and alone.
No,
Who
she's
do you
not
think
alone.
She was?
She has her friends.
Her ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna run a hotel together.
True, but she's not in like a relationship. I feel like part of her thing is that she like desperately wants like a man friend, but like
Don't we all?
you guys are my man friends.
All right.
You guys are my only man
Thank
friends.
you for being man friends.
the end. The end. Because nowhere to go from there.
Yes, there is. Would people watch this show? Or who's going to keep watching it? Is this your new Frasier, Jimmy?
Oh man. I mean, yeah, I think like I downloaded them, but I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu. It was definitely a lot funnier and a lot more like interesting than I anticipated it being. What was that first episode? I'm trying to think if I could just roll right
It's
into
entitled Pilot.
the engagement. I think I could go start episode 2 later. What are you guys doing?
I would watch it in syndication.
Like, wait, what?
Like if it pops on TV
Yeah,
land.
if I was
you're like,
scrolling TVs, I might stop on Golden Girls.
nice.
I don't think I'd seek it out and put it on though.
It's not gonna make the queue. Not gonna make the my stuff for
Nah.
Hulu fans.
My stuff.
I love popping stuff into my stuff. Freddie Peterson.
I think I'll pass.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's because
I think
that's because you got your Malcolm in the Middle new Frasier
I'm almost done. No, probably not. I probably have like
with Malcolm in the Middle.
I'm probably not even halfway, to be honest. I forget how many seasons there are in Malcolm in the Middle.
No clue.
But even if there's only 7, I'm not halfway yet.
You're not quite in the middle of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, I'm not quite Malcolm yet.
Hmm.
I have more Dewey currently, who is by far the best character in that show. Got a lot of things to say about Dewey, but we'll save that for my special Dewey cast.
Dewey
just-
Cast 2018.
It's going to be a 15-minute side podcast. It's just only me talking about the fun things that Dewey says. It's not happening, so don't look for it.
How do you think of it as a show ending?
Oh, this show?
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I think it was a good finale. I think this show in total had a really good pilot and a really strong finale. One character left and moved on, and the other characters kind of like established like, hey, what we're doing is going to be different, but it's still good.
Yeah.
But it was like enough change where the story that they were doing is done.
I wonder if it was kind of weird if you had seen the whole show, for it to just, it kind of ends pretty abruptly. Like, we don't really feel it because we're only watching the last episode, but like Uncle Lucas shows up in that last episode, or in that second to last episode, and then they decide to get married. Like, their lives are just sort of cruising, and then all of a sudden it takes a hard right turn.
I mean, maybe it's weird. It's probably maybe weird if you
all on the same night,
7 episodes kind of thing, like 7 seasons. I mean, but like that almost exact same thing almost happened in the very first episode. You know?
Bookends.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess we don't know how long Blanche was dating Harold for, but it seemed not very long.
A week.
Yeah.
They said that.
They were okay. There you go. Jimmy's paying attention.
They said that, and then they said they were gonna get married at the end of the next week.
So like, I mean, I don't know. They kind of set the precedent that old people just don't care about courting each other anymore. They just want to fucking get married.
I wonder if that's just kind of the like a symptom of how shows were back then, where it's just you get a show running and it just sort of stays in stasis for a long time, especially like a sitcom comedy. Like, you get your characters rolling, you just put them in like a regular rhythm. The characters don't change very much, and then one day has to end, so they take a hard right turn and end it. They're moving out of the apartment, or they're moving out of their house, or
just shuffling it up.
Yeah, like,
it sounds like you didn't like the turn as much as I thought. I feel like I just didn't even think about it. I was like, yeah, I guess these old people just get married really fast. I don't know why.
It's not that I didn't like it. I just think it's interesting that nowadays, even for like a basic sitcom, there's like all these overarching stories and like things end in a place where they're supposed to, but like I think back then it just didn't really matter. It's just like, it's ending.
It was more
here's
like
your Junkman, and then we're gonna get back to Earth.
Nice.
Are you gonna somehow give a first and last You Just Lost in Space this season too? How are you gonna do that?
Pass it back to Mr. Junkman.
Best Junkman from season 1 goes to.
Should I be Mr. Junkman for Halloween this year? Do you think anyone would get it?
Hey, that show got rebooted.
Oh yeah, it did on Netflix.
Can't wait till it gets canceled so we can watch it.
Maybe the Junkman's in it.
In the last episode. I haven't started watching it yet. I want to though.
For Thanksgiving, for Halloween, can we all go as one character from our favorite show from our podcast?
Does it have to be like season 2 or just anything?
Well, what? Oh no,
any season?
No, any season.
All right.
This year you only get a pick from seasons 1 and 2.
Well, right.
Because of how time works.
That have happened. I don't know, man. Future me could.
I mean, if future you sends you like a letter or something like that.
Yeah.
Emails you.
It'll be a rainy night. Lightning will have struck the bell tower.
Somehow I knew lightning was involved in time travel when a rainy night.
Claire once suggested trying to dress up as like Frasier characters, and I was just like, that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
Unless you already like kind of look like Kelsey Grammer.
Is it because there's
You're
no
already
Asians in Frasier?
Well, that's a hard thing too. Is like
Joe's already wearing flannels. Just give him a cane, man.
Like if you were dressing up as like Dwight.
Oh, Joe, you'd be a great Martin.
You're such a Martin.
You're such a Martin, Joe.
Oh man. Like if you're trying to dress up as like Dwight from The Office, you just wear like a yellow short sleeve shirt and like an ugly tie and some glasses, and people are like, oh man, you're Dwight. But like if you're me, it's like, oh, is this the IT crowd? What is this?
Yeah, I guess if you're like Niles or Frasier, you just wear like a suit.
Yeah, but if you don't already look kind of like Niles or Frasier,
I mean,
like,
I'd obviously be the Frasier, right?
I guess. What? Because you're tall?
Yeah.
Guess.
And then what? Like,
I don't know.
Like, but you just wear like a suit coat, a sport jacket.
You'd wear like a bald cap, like like kind of thing.
So like, I'd be Bulldog. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I was almost gonna give
I
you.
love that.
I was gonna give you Niles, but I want you to be Bulldog now.
I'd love that. This sucks. This is total BS. How am I doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Just getting your rhythm
we don't
back.
even say anything.
It's way too early. You're off rhythm.
I've been off the show for a while. I gotta get my groove back.
That's fine. Stella. Thank you. Joe, how can people tell us things about how they hate us, how they think we should change, and how we should stop doing this podcast?
We take a TV show and we watch the first and last episode. Just fucking it up. The best way is probably email at fnlpodcast@gmail.
Can't be the best way.
I mean, are we checking Twitter or what? Like,
I would say Twitter's always the best way.
Tweet at us at FNL Podcast.
FNP Podcast. Franken Peppers. What is
Post
it?
on our
Freddie Peppers.
Yeah.
What was the name?
Freddie Peppercorn.
Freddie Peterson.
FNL Podcast.
Like us on Facebook and write on our wall. We'll send you a pizza roll.
Just one uncooked pizza roll, thawed out. But
if you'll trust us with your address, Jimmy will send you one unthawed pizza roll in the mail.
Yeah, why not?
Really, just subscribe to the pod and tell your friends.
I looked up
Don't
how to
even
get on
tweet.
Spotify today.
Subscribe.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm working on it.
Oh, nice.
We're working on getting on Spotify.
Your mission for this week is to just go find one friend.
Mine or like
I was gonna say go find one friend and tell them about this podcast, but then I just decided to stop because I thought it'd be funny.
Just go make a friend this week.
It sounded like you were talking to
It's like a freaking Mr. Rogers episode.
It sounded like you were making a thing about the people listening, but then it seemed like you were looking directly at me.
Go find yourself a friend.
Okay, I'll try.
Thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, and become lifelong friends with them.
Become golden girls.
Golden
Yeah.
friends.
Freddie Peterson yourselves.
Become golden friends for years. Golden years.
Stay golden.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it.
We'll see you guys next week for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Now we have to do it. What?
That's not how this show works, you son of a bitch. Who do you think you are? Edit that out.
I probably won't. See you next week. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Thank you for being a girl.
What?
I didn't know where that was going when I started.
I just know if I wait long enough, Jimmy will say something.
Something fucking stupid.